let's ramp it up and let's talk about this game. That feels good to say after all this time. Okay.
We finally know what's going on.
So this is the deal, okay? This is the deal, everybody. I cannot imagine that there is a single soul that's listening to this that has not probably beaten the opening prologue in the Great Sky Island. If you have not beat the Great Sky Island, come back, listen to this show after you're done, because we are going to be talking spoilers about what happens there. Again, it's the first 4 hours of the game, so we're not spoiling anything like far off. So it's just the prologue, okay? So this is your chance. This is your warning. If you're still here, that's awesome. Let's proceed and let's talk about the opening to this game. So first of all, I think like as we've kind of seen in the gameplay demonstrations from EGA Enuma, very kind of cool aesthetic, very like autumn, very fall, kind of lots of yellow colors, trees, stuff like that. I really loved it, and I was quite charmed by the constructs, not like the enemy constructs that you fight, but like the constructs that you like interact with, like the Stewart constructs and like the other, all those different kinds. Another W I'm going to take, Al, and I think you could take this one too, because I remember you saying it as well. But I remember when I saw those little frog dudes in the trailer, I was like, I think those are good guys. I think those are our friends.
No, I said they were bad. I said they looked like Igors. So, because in the trailer, it didn't look... I saw the part where we got from the trailer, but to me, I interpreted it as like an Igor enemy. So you can take the win on that, because I thought it was going to be an enemy.
I'm going to be honest with you. I do remember you saying that, but I was trying to, just give you a little something.
Hey, I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so yeah, it was just like kind of nice just to walk around and get reacclimated. I will say this: you're much more knowledgeable about Breath of the Wild than I am. Tell me if for you, like when I started playing, my jump and my dash button felt like they were inverted to me. And I eventually switched them back so that jump was on the bottom, dash was on the top. Was that the default in Breath of the Wild, where dash is on the top, jump is on the bottom? No?
No, but I know you can invert them in this game, but I don't think you could. Yeah, I don't think you can in Breath of the Wild. X was always jump, B was always dash.
That's so weird, because I was playing and I was like, I couldn't wrap my head around it for some reason.
Yeah. However, there is a switch of buttons where you're using the new powers, and you, in my brain, having played 6 years and like 800 hours of Breath of the Wild, the up on the D-pad should be how you choose your powers. It is not, and it's very frustrating. I played 30 hours of this game, and I still am not used to it.
Me neither. I can't tell you how many times I want to go and select my abilities, and I press the up button, because I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do up, and then like I'm like, oh, no, damn it, it's L, and then I press L, and then it's like, oh, but now I gotta go right to get to my, because it's a wheel now instead of like the block thing, whatever. So I'm struggling with that, and like if I'm switching my weapons, I feel like I'm always pressing the wrong button, and I'm just like,
Yep. And it does, and Breath of the Wild also took me a long time to get used to. There's so many controls, and I did eventually get really proficient in it. So I know I will with Tears of the Kingdom 2, but I kind of wish they hadn't have made that change, especially when the quick what it does is open a quick menu, so you can you fuse your weapons and stuff like that to your arrows and whatnot, which is super cool. However, I don't know how well Nintendo thought of that, because of course I naturally went straight to Satori Mountain to get all my supplies, and now my quick menu is like a mile long, so I'm like zooming through everything trying to find the item that I want, and it's taking forever. I don't know how well thought out that was.
I would agree with that, where I have some thoughts about that, but I want to save it till we get to the Fuse Shrine. Okay. Which, by the way, so you eventually are going, and Rauru tells you, like, listen, go and collect 3 shrines, and you should be able to get through this door. And I'm just kind of like, 3? Seems like one's missing, but okay, whatever. So I go, and I'm exploring the island, and right away, I think we both had said this, right? So, but like right away, you could tell that the green swirly stuff, that's your new shrine. And shrines are back. So that was a question that I had for a long time. Are shrines coming back? I kind of thought they must be, And I think that format works well for a game like Breath
It
of the
does.
Wild. So I was fine with that, but like it's kind of one of those things I just wanted to know. And so indeed, the green swirly guys are your new shrines, and they can be in the skies, they can be on the ground. I haven't found any in the caves yet, but we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, so I got to my first shrine, the Ultrahand shrine. This took me forever. And it took me forever because I was really just kind of trying to understand how Ultrahand worked. And I think that this is the most difficult of all of the new abilities. Which is like of all in Breath of the Wild, you kind of sort of use most of your abilities like uniformly, like everyone is almost as important as the other. In my experience with Tears of the Kingdom, in my 35 hours or so, Ultrahand is far and away the most important ability.
Yes, it's definitely the most used, and I would say it's also the one I've struggled with the most too.
Yeah.
It just takes some finesse and getting used to, which is fine. I feel like after a while you start to really get into the groove of how to create and where to stick things so you know it's working for you.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, oh my god, I can't turn this. I can't. Oh my god, what is happening? And it was I will admit very frustrating to be in this shrine trying to put together the pieces so that I could get across to the end. But when you figure it out and when you actually create something, it's like such a satisfying feeling that I almost didn't care anymore about the frustration.
I would agree with that. I think that there is like I think what my struggle with Ultrahand when in my first shrine was I was putting stuff together, but the game maybe it does tell you, but if it did, it told you like very quickly, and I glanced over it, but like it doesn't tell you how to deattach anything. So like,
oh yes, yeah.
I was like, I stuck this stupid thing on. How the hell do I get it off? Like, so I was going and going and going and going, and I never figured it out on this first shrine. Actually, I had to look it up after the fact. So I kind of finagled like this. I can't even remember what you do now, like a bridge or like something.
So there's a couple bridges, but also there's like a cart line that you have to put a hook on.
Yeah, that was it. Yes, and I couldn't get the one whatever it was off the wall because there was a chain attached to it, and I was like, God, how do I get this off? So I kind of finagled like some kind of platform or something like that, but yeah. So like I said, like I'm assuming they probably tell you that, and I scrolled too fast. But I wish that they would have maybe when you get the pop up things like that show you like the buttons on your Joy-Con. Like I think that would have been a good thing to pop up because I can't be the only one that scrolled past that.
Personally, I don't remember it being told. It's when you have it activated and you have the item in your hand, there's like a little key on the bottom, and it says if you wiggle the right stick, it detaches.
I see.
So that's how I figured it out.
Right. So yeah. So I think that was a challenge. And I think and that one was more so my own fault. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I do think that with Ultrahand though, I wish that they would have allowed you when you're rotating something. So you can basically only rotate in increments, so where you press it and it'll turn it like 25 degrees or something like that, or whatever, like 25%. I don't know what that is in degrees. So I wish that you could have just held it and it slowly spins whatever your turn.
Yeah, until you were ready for it to.
Yeah. Because like I've never felt more stupid than like trying to get something to like just be straight and go back down to the ground, and I'm like, why is this diagonal and at like a 72.5 degree axis? Like, what's happening?
So I will say that I was frustrated with that at first, but I feel like I finally, and this is what I was saying, like it takes some finesse and getting used to. I feel like once I started getting used to it, I'm like, okay, I'm in the jam. I'm gonna go doot 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 doot, and then it's good, you know.
What really helped me is like you can press L and that'll just kind of flatten out whatever you have, and then you have a lot of an easier time getting it to where you want it to be. I found with that. Mm-hmm. So Ultrahand definitely takes some practice, but I think you're right. Like I think once you kind of get the hang of it, it's quite rewarding to use.
Yes, and I will say, if you played a video game like I did right before playing this guest, so I was playing a game just to distract myself to get up to this game. It's like these controls are even harder because you're so used to playing that other game where the controls are certain things.
Yeah.
So I was struggling a little bit, I would say more. So if anybody out there is struggling a little bit and you were playing a game before this, that's probably why.
Yeah, it was. I felt dumb leaving that shrine. Yeah, we like to talk about when like we feel smart when video games make us feel smart, which is a great feeling. I felt dumb leaving this shrine.
Let me just say, some of these shrines in the overworld have humbled me. So like,
yeah. I pride myself on being mostly like pretty rocking with these shrines. There have been 2 so far that I was just like, I have no idea. I have to look this up.
I've had 2 as well. Yeah.
What? Actually, let's save it.
Yeah, we'll save it.
Yeah, we'll talk about this off air. I wonder if we have one of the same ones. We probably don't, actually. What are the chances of that? But anyways, so I went to the Fuse Shrine next, and that one also humbled me a little bit as well. Because yet again, I was pushing my buttons, and I've got my fire fruits or whatever, and I've got my bow, and I can see what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to shoot a fire arrow to melt the leaves and get the small key. And I was like, how the hell do I fuse an arrow to an item? And I don't did the game tell you that? Like, did I just scroll past it again?
No, but I remembered how Aonuma-san did it, so
I did not.
Because he showed it in the gameplay.
I went to the corner where there was a torch, hid behind it, and was like, pooh, and shot my arrow. And I had to look it up after the fact, because I was like, I feel so dumb. Like, this is probably super easy. Why can I not do this?
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
It's okay. I know now. But in that first shrine, I was like, what is my malfunction? Why can I not do this? Like, I know what I need to do very clearly. I need to get up and do this. But, yeah, so I'm a little bit surprised in my play so far in this game. I have not found Fuse to be as not useful as I thought that it would be, because like it is useful, but it's like it's kind of
you don't use it as much.
Yeah, it's very few and far between, especially at the beginning when you don't have that many weapons.
Yeah, I'm a very practical player, so I fuse stuff and then I try not to use those fused ones because I want to use them specifically. So like anything that I have attached to a boulder, I want to break rocks with. Anything I have attached to an axe, I want to break wood with. So I save those and then I use like my other weapons.
Yeah.
However, this might be getting too far on. It gets better, I will say, the more you're playing in the overworld and the more enemies you defeat. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I think it works great. Like, it's a great ability. I kind of thought that we'd be using it a lot more, and at least for me, the way that I've been playing so far, yeah, I haven't really I've used it, but it's not like you're constantly using it. Like, if I pick up a new weapon, I'm just like, okay, great. Like, I'll use it when I need it, like, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I felt like I haven't really needed it.
It's for people who, and I just haven't had this desire to attach mushrooms to my spear yet, but apparently it makes a bouncy weapon, which is pretty funny. But like it's for fun, but I'm super practical with it, so I haven't been using it a lot. But I do see the benefit in it when you're fighting bigger enemies later.
So I got Ultrahand and Fuse, so probably the 2 most important abilities here. And from there, it's a little bit of a grind, actually, to get to the 3rd shrine, like, from the first 2. So there's like a large portion of the map. And like, once again, the Great Sky Island is massive.
Huge.
Like, it's huge. It feels like ginormous.
I wonder if you compare them, this and the plateau, if they would be similar. Just to me, it made the plateau feel so small.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I was kind of thinking that too. I was like, this probably isn't that much bigger than the plateau. It just maybe feels bigger for some reason, or maybe it is bigger. I don't know, but it felt ginormous to me.
Yeah.
So eventually, I was looking for like some wool clothing to protect myself from the cold, because you gotta kind of climb up a little bit of a snowy part. Didn't find it, but I did get me some spicy peppers. So made myself a little stew and kept my bodice warm. I saw so actually, and by the way, so you're building like your mine carts and your boats, and like we saw this stuff, but like actually doing it and seeing it and like making it move, very, very rewarding, very cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just looking at the map just to see if they were comparable. I would say the plateau is actually bigger. Land-wise, maybe the reason the Sky Islands feel so big is because there's multiple levels to it, and it's in the sky.
Yeah, maybe that's it, because like you can't just like literally run in a path to get to where you want to go. You have to take the direction. Because I was thinking like it feels ginormous, and I was like,
it feels huge.
This can't be that much bigger than the Great Plateau,
but the plateau felt huge when we were playing it 6 years ago for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
Too.
That is true.
Oh, yeah.
So you're doing all this stuff, you're building all this stuff. It's and now I'm just like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit smarter. I feel a little bit better here, like a little bit. And then my boat, I could not get it to go where I wanted it to go.
Yeah. Oh, did you run into the gate?
Oh yeah. I
did too. I was like, what am I supposed to do? I'm stuck on the gate. And then I like picked up my fan and put it on the other side of my boat.
Yeah. So it very much matters where your fan is, and you have to have equilibrium with the weights and the positioning of your fan, or else you are going to be doing a whole lot of circles.
There's a lot there. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's more times where you need to be on a raft and you can't really control it. I just like, here's a little tip. I just take my fan and move it over and use it directionally.
So it's a long trek, but eventually you get to this cave that you need to traverse to get to the top where the last shrine is. And I saw something that almost knocked my socks off. Do you know what it was?
Oh, is it the bubble thing?
No, but that was pretty cool, actually.
Okay, go tell me.
Likes.
Oh, likes, yes! Why did I forget about likes? Yeah, when I saw that thing, I was like, oh my god.
They're gross. These likes look so awesome. They look awesome and gross and nasty and oh man, I was like fist pumping when I saw them. Like just they look like these gross worms, like I was excited to see likes back. And I will note I've killed probably like 10 of them by now. Almost like 90% of them have dropped shields. I love it. Really? Okay.
Except that kind of scares me because it makes me think that they've eaten people in the past.
Rip. Yeah, I'm sure they probably have. I actually think that these likes are a little bit easier to combat than your average like.
Yeah.
Wait, your
I haven't
average
been eaten by one yet.
I haven't either. But like those ones, it's like if you got to get close enough to hit it, but you can't get too close or else you're gonna get globbled up. Where these ones, like you can just kind of shoot their eye and then do your thing and defeat them. But I love the design. Its design looks so awesome and just, sticky and grody and blah. So I was less like absolutely going buck wild when I saw those
I can't believe I forgot about that. I did have a note, like it says likes in bold.
Yeah. Here's a note that I wrote down that I forgot to read actually, but I think that the Puripad doesn't have quite the same ring as the Sheikah Slate. I don't know if you'd agree with that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say Puripad.
Yeah.
Sheikah Slate.
Why didn't they just keep it as the Sheikah Slate?
There's something we're going to talk about next week, and I'll talk to you about it after where I was just like, this is dumb as heck. But anyways, that's for another episode.
Okay. Yeah, you're taking lots of cool pictures of the Zonai murals at the very beginning with your Puripad, not your Sheikah Slate. So, although it operates a lot like a Sheikah Slate.
The same, yeah.
Okay, so eventually you make your way up, you get to the very top, and you find the Ascend ability. And you know what? I need to say something right now very clearly for everybody to hear.
Are you going to take an L on this one?
I owe Ascend an apology.
Yes!
I owe it an apology. Because, I mean, listen, I'm not going to take an L because I don't think that it looks as cool as the other abilities. Like, I think, like, when you see it, you're just kind of like, oh, okay. Ascend is very cool. It's very fun. There's lots of really cool shrines with it. Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool ability.
Sometimes, like, in my early gameplay, I forgot that it existed. And I'm over here, like, looking at something, and I'm, like, looking up at it, and I'm like, okay, how do I solve this? How do I get up there? And it takes me, like, about 5 minutes of running around trying to figure. And I'm like, I'm such an idiot. I could just go through the ceiling.
I've been using it quite a lot, actually.
Me too, yeah.
Mine is, like, I forget that fuse exists a lot of times, and I pick up a weapon, I'm like, great, like, I've got a 14 weapon. Woohoo! Forgetting that you can fuse it with, like, the little Zonai horn things or whatever. But yeah, I think Ascend is, like, super, super fun. It's kind of cool, like, seeing Link swim up through the rocks and stuff like that. Like, it's a cool ability. I owe it an apology. And that shrine was very fun. Hey everyone! If you enjoyed this clip and want to see more of the Zelda Cast, make sure to head over to your favorite podcast platform of choice and subscribe. There are over 200 episodes in the vault that will provide you with hundreds of hours of Zelda content for you to enjoy. You can listen to us when you're on a walk, fighting Ganon, trying to sleep, whatever. And if you want to see these shows as they happen, make sure to head over to twitch.tv/the Zelda Cast, where you can watch our beautiful faces talk about Zelda every single week. Don't miss out, and we'll see you next time.